Today we're driving a 2018 Lincoln Continental. This is the 2.7 liter twin turbo all-wheel drive reserve trim. It's a used vehicle from Gene Buttman Ford in Ypsilanti. My buddy Chris has brought it over today to film. It has about 66,000 miles on it. It was a corporate car. It still feels pretty fresh. We haven't driven a Lincoln Continental, so I figured this would be a good opportunity, and it's a good chance to see how these kind of hold up over time. So this has a 335 horsepower twin turbo V6, 2.7 liter out of the F-150. This is Lincoln's effort to get back into big body luxury vehicles, kind of your mid-size luxury sedan. We have these very cool door handles with a little button on the inside that are integrated into the window frame. Plenty of back seat room. How's it going, Chris? I have leg room for days in here. Plenty of room underneath the seat to put my feet.
Should I switch so I can chauffeur you around?
Yeah, right, we could.
Yeah.
The back seat's not bad in here.
No, it's not bad. I haven't sat back there yet, but...
You even have climate control buttons, a couple of USB ports to charge your phone. No like trays or, champagne or anything, but otherwise, pretty spacious, pretty comfortable. So you said originally the sticker on this was about 60 grand or so?
66,000.
66,000.
Yep.
And now it's listed for about 31.
Yep.
Cool. Well, this might not be a bad used buy for someone then who is looking to get into a luxury vehicle, probably a little bit of warranty. Is there warranty left on this? Probably not, no.
I don't believe so. I believe it ended at 60,000.
Okay.
But I mean, a 2-year-old luxury vehicle, Lincoln's flagship sedan, for less than half of sticker.
Yeah.
It's not too bad of a deal.
Not too bad at all. So when I first got into this Continental, I wasn't familiar with the ergonomics in it at all. And there are some interesting decisions. First, your gear selector is right here, kind of next to the infotainment, which is, once you know it's there, it's fine. It's great and easy to use. But otherwise, I was just kind of looking around for a column shifter and all these other things. You can adjust each thigh support individually in case if one leg is longer than the other. I don't know. But tons of adjustability in the seats. Lots of nice places to put things. The door is opened electronically, and if that breaks, you have a button down there, which is very convenient. This is a great sound system too. We listened to a little bit of music on the way out here. It's made by, it says Revel on it, which I've never heard of, but it sounds fantastic. A nice fully digital display, as well as a head-up display with lots of good information. There are lots of pleasing brown earth tones in this Continental. We have Apple CarPlay hooked up. We'll do a sound test later. And if you can go into the sync system, pretty much your standard Ford Lincoln sync. It's responsive. It's pretty well laid out. Apple CarPlay works quite well. I think this interior has held up decently well for a couple years of corporate hard use. Well, maybe not that hard. It's probably been mostly highway miles.
Probably lived on the highway.
Yeah. But, I got some cameras. Not the most high resolution displays, but they get the job done. One of the first things I noticed too is this has a variable ratio steering rack. So at low speeds, I don't know when it kind of transitions over, but at speeds 30 miles an hour or so and under, this is one turn basically lock to lock, or 2 turns lock to lock. So it's a very quick rack. So here's 1 turn, 2 turns. Pretty cool, very fast ratio. And then once you get on the highway, that ratio changes so that you can drive more comfortably at speed. I sit really low in this Continental. I'm kind of surprised at the driving position. It feels a little bit low, a little bit sporty. I'm actually positioned higher than what you drove over in.
Yeah.
And I still feel like I'm kind of in a little bit of a cocoon here. It's comfortable. These seats are really nice.
Yeah.
The bolsters and the armrests feel just about right. You definitely feel like you're in more of a luxury vehicle. There's a smoothness here and a refinement that I'm glad to experience from this. Put it over in sport mode, you get a little bit more. I believe this has adjustable dampers, so those will adjust according to your drive mode. Your engine will have a little bit of a more aggressive throttle tuning.
It still retains that smoothness though, even when you're in sport mode.
It does, yeah. And this definitely isn't supposed to be a sporty luxury car.
Right, exactly.
But it does okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Definitely, main focus is on being a luxury car, and that's it.
This is a front-wheel drive based platform and architecture, but it is all-wheel drive, which gives you a little bit more sporty handling up here. It's no slouch. That active suspension does its job. You can definitely feel a pretty big difference between sport mode and normal mode in the suspension setup. The 2.7 liter V6, this isn't the fastest engine in the lineup. I think the top of the line is a 3.5 with 400 horsepower.
It's a 3 liter.
A 3 liter with 400 horsepower? Okay.
Same one you'll find in the Explorer ST.
That's right, cool.
Yep, 400 horsepower.
But this is at 335, it's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
You have heated steering wheel, heated and cooled seats. Again, these ergonomics are taking me a little bit to get used to, but
Yeah,
I think
you can also operate the climate via the screen as well when you're not in the Apple CarPlay. So,
okay.
When you go back to the
Go
you can
back
operate
here.
in the climate menu there.
Climate menu. Okay, sweet. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've got a couple options. I like that Lincoln did buttons and knobs for their climate control still.
100% agree.
Yeah. This is an easy infotainment to use. I think once you get the idea of where everything's placed and located, ergonomically, this is a great car to use. The only Continental that I have been in, and I drove it very briefly, was a pre-production model, and it was just, I found it to be a little bit rattly, a little bit creaky, and after 66,000 miles, this feels pretty solid. You never quite know what pre-production cars are gonna...
What they've seen.
What they've seen, what they've been through, exactly. We'll do one more entrance ramp, put this onto the highway, and show you guys the radar guided cruise control. This is a fully, we'll come to a complete stop, which is very nice. Ford does do a pretty nice system. Yeah, there's a big difference between normal drive mode and sport mode in this. You feel the steering tighten up. Car corner's very flat. Ride quality is really nice on this too, as it should be, as you'd expect. It's quiet too. There's probably a little bit of noise cancellation going on. So cruise control is pretty straightforward to engage. Just hit on, set your speed. You can skip 5 mile-an-hour increments by holding the button, and you can engage the lane keep assist while pressing the turn signal stalk. And it'll just give you a little bit of a nudge if you're straying outside your lane. And of course, one of my favorite features that Ford has with their radar guided cruise control systems is as soon as you put your turn signal on, it'll begin to pass the car in front of you if they're going slower than you are. You really don't hear this engine very much. It's pretty quiet.
You don't at all.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell if it's even running when you come to a stop.
I know. think overall Lincoln did a pretty good job executing this car. I don't know how many of them they've sold, but in the used market, this might be a pretty good purchase. I do like the design of the interior. Some of the materials, the fit, the finish, the overall quality isn't quite up there with the Germans, but I think for what you're getting, this has other attributes that make up for it. The sound system in this car is kind of a highlight for me. It bops. It sounds really good.
Yeah. Sounds excellent.
I do really like that variable ratio steering rack. Sometimes the steering in cars that have variable ratio racks feels a little bit wonky. It just feels a little bit artificial, but this is nicely tuned. It has a good weight to it. There's a reasonable amount of feel under aggressive cornering.
Yeah.
Not that anyone who buys a Continental really cares, but
true. They just care about the thigh supports.
Yeah, I mean,
being
hey,
able to adjust to their uneven legs.
So much thigh support in this car. It's ridiculous. So you said there was an audio test track within the infotainment.
There is.
You can only play it when you're stopped. How do I get there?
So you're going to go to audio.
Okay.
And then, actually, no, you're going to go...
Take me there.
Okay, yeah. Settings, sound. Down here, play Revel experience.
Okay, we can revel in the audio quality.
And you're going to want to turn it up.
Hopefully this is copyright free. Oh, hey, and then we have straight into our sound test.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like the beginning of the movies, when you walk into the theater and the movie starts.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just jump right into the audio test then. So we'll start off with our, this track is just fine, let's go. We'll hit the road. Cool. Well, hopefully that gives you guys an idea of this Revel sound system. It's actually pretty impressive. Definitely one of the highlights of this car. So let's kind of sum things up a little bit. Honestly, I'm pretty impressed with the performance from this Continental. The handling is actually quite good. The engine has a good amount of power. It's nice and torquey. It's smooth. It's quiet. This is a nice effort from Lincoln. I'm impressed. So I think some of the highlights here are the usability. This still hasn't gone to a massive touchscreen and hiding climate controls. You still get buttons and knobs for everything. And once you learn where it all is, it's actually very ergonomically and user-friendly. It's comfortable, it's quiet, the ride quality is fantastic. Then if you just want to throw it into sport mode and hustle around some corners, you can do that with a press of a button. It's super simple, super easy. You can change what that mode does in your settings. You have this cog that you hit and that'll take you into a lot of customizing menus. You can even look at navigation and various things in your touchscreen from your steering wheel. There's a lot of control that you can have from these buttons and from these menus. Let's show you guys this cruise control. So I'm not touching anything. I'm going to turn my signal on, and we're going to smoothly accelerate around these slower vehicles. Ford's done a pretty good job with their radar guided cruise control for the last 7-8 years, so this isn't really much of a surprise, but it's nice to see that this works quite well in the Continental. This is a 6-speed automatic, and I kind of prefer that to, let's say, you know, the 10-speed, for example, that could have been in this car but didn't make it. I mean, in practice, 6-speed automatics I think work quite well.
Yeah, silky smooth.
Yeah, they're smooth. They're not trying to find it, you know, they're not hunting for every single gear. They may not perform as well on the EPA cycle, but in reality, in real life, I think they're a little bit more user-friendly.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, you know, you get one of these, you can pretend you're Matthew McConaughey.
I've been driving a Lincoln before I was paid to.
That's right. I don't know what they were thinking with those ads, but that's okay. They were thinking something.
They were thinking. Yeah.
They were thinking, or maybe they weren't. Yeah.
It's interesting how, like, in a normal Ford vehicle with the Sync 3 system, it's like a light blue background, and in a Lincoln, it's beige.
There are lots of beige, browns in here.
A lot of browns. There are multiple shades of brown.
The Lexus LS has a setting where you can change the color of everything, and it's a similar brown.
Okay.
So I wonder if there's some inspiration taken from that, or if brown and beige is just a more luxurious color. I don't know.
It has something to do with the target market.
It may have something to do with the target market. It's true. We are not the target market.
We're not. No.
No, they're not looking for Chris's in their 20s and 30s.
No.
All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap up the Lincoln Continental. Thanks for letting me drive this today. This is a pleasure, and I kind of redeemed the Continental a little bit in my mind. I wasn't really sure what to expect, but this is quite a nice luxury car. It just feels like a more upscale Ford product.
Yeah.
You know? So.
Which is pretty much what it is.
Yeah, exactly. So it's pretty much along the expectations. Well, guys, thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. We'll see you in the next video. Take care. Just lock Chris in there.